I've now got a job at Heatrae Sadia. It's like, well done, boy. That's a really good company. And when you get a job there, you normally got a job for life.
The business is nothing without the people.
The people that I certainly spoke to and got involved with loved every minute of it. It was brilliant. And I always think that that's all part of Heatrae's success. The factory then was in a place called St George's.
Previously, it was a shoe factory, which, I mean, Norwich was known for its shoes. They had loads of shoes factories. And it was a shoe factory, and it still had, like, the old belt system. Over the tank shop, I do remember going over there, and that had a timber roof on it, and it still had the holes in and burn marks from when the incendiary bombs came through from the German bombing on Norwich. Yeah, I joined the company straight from school in January 1956. I turned up at the timekeeper's office with my a brass ashtray and a steel poker that I'd made in the metalwork class at school. I saw the works manager, and he just looked at those and says, "Yeah, fine, you start on Monday." In those days, everything was made by hand. You know, the bending, you went on a bender, it wasn't automatic, you pulled it up, you know.
Yeah, and I think it's a legacy that our pensioners and the people who started at Heatrae, they've put that work ethic in, and that's just continued all the way through the business.
Yes.
So I think it is a massive achievement to all the people who's been working at Heatrae, who's left Heatrae, retired or just left. They are our legacy that they've set us and set the precedents for the way we work, and that's a fantastic compliment and tribute to them.
Yeah, I joined on the 2nd of April, 1961. Yeah, had a fantastic time with many people there. Names are difficult to remember everyone, because you can remember the Christian names but not the surnames. It was a really interesting place to be, I have to say. I can always remember the instant that when I first joined there, we used to have tea and coffee come over from the canteen, and I used to, my job was to go down to the bottom and fill the big churns that they used to have years ago with the tea and coffee, and used to bring that all the way up the stairs and for the coffee breaks. Being overexcited one day, I did fall down the stairs once and they all went down. That was the last time I was told to do it.
We were told that we were going into a new factory up there.
It was marvellous to see the space and how it filled up was unbelievable.
We done specialist heaters. Normal heaters were all sort of steel and that, but we done work for minesweepers, which obviously couldn't be magnetic. So a lot of those had to be done specially, from aluminium. We also done the large water heater, what went in the nuclear submarines, and that was really specialist because it had to go down the same place where the torpedoes were put in. So that was quite interesting. And we done the nuclear heating rods, which went in the nuclear reactor.
I joined way back in the mid-70s, joined straight from school. Very different place then. One of the first things that you'd notice nowadays is how labour intensive everything was when I first joined. There was an awful lot of people worked at Heatrae. They even had 2 buses they used to send off around the city to pick people up.
One of the main reasons for Heatrae's success is the way that the business can diversify They're very good at moving from one water heating section to the next one. I think the whole people who work at Heatrae are fantastic people, from the office staff right down to the shop floor staff, because they're all passionate and the whole business has worked together as one. Years ago, you would often find that there was at least 3 to 4 family members all worked there.
I joined in 1988. I was working elsewhere at the time, and that job I had disappeared, and my father said, I can get you a job in Heatrae, Mark, and so I said fair enough, and that's where I joined. So it was 1988 on the Monday, and about 5 minutes after I walked in the shop door, I was a union member, because as Alan's now referred to, it was a closed shop back in the day. So my first task was joining in the union. But when I joined, my father worked here, my uncle worked here, and 2 of my cousins worked here, and we've totaled up 101 years of service between us.
When I first joined the company, my father-in-law, David Watts, was a tool maker. He had 40 years service, and his father before that joined Heatrae in the 1940s, and he had well over 30 years service as well as a stores keeper. So there's quite a link there, over 80 years between us.
Basically, I started September 1988. I always remember the first Christmas I was here, and because I was underage and not on too much money, I was given some money instead of the bottle of drink, which I've never forgotten because that was a nice gesture. My dad done 38 years here and my mum was here for 13.
Yeah, well, I was asked to gather some tools, some copper pipe and various fittings together one day in order to produce a mock-up of an installation for a promotional photo shoot. I got all the tools together, and then someone shouted out, "Oh yeah, and bring a clean pair of overalls, polish your boots as you'll be in the photo shoot." So off I went to the studio. I put this Megaflo in and spent the day climbing up and down ladders while they desperately tried to get a decent photo of me, and hence modelling career never really took off after that.
In 1994 was the acquisition of Megaflo, and we started manufacturing our own in Norwich. And up to the end of last year, 2020, we've made circa 2 million stainless cylinders, covering a wide range of UK, Europe, intercompany and rest of the world products. So a fantastic line, and certainly has been a great money spinner for the business.
There is so much variety has happened in this factory, with moving machinery, getting new machinery in, bringing Santon in, and lines like that. And also, it's just a good atmosphere, isn't it, of everyone helping out each other out on the shop floor.
It's definitely the people that have made the place it is.
We actually introduced robots to the factory. The robot, we were struggling to find a place to put the robot, so we decided that the only place we could only job we could think for the robot to do was to stamp shower cans with a pass or fail stamp and put them into boxes, which worked quite well, but not the best use of a robot.
Do you remember the fire?
I can't really forget the fire, Gordon. I was unluckily on the night of the fire, when the fire actually took hold of the building. I'll never forget that. That was about 12 o'clock, midnight.
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock, and one of the engineers come and said to me, "Mark, I think I've got a problem." So as normal, being a supervisor, I went with him to investigate it. When I opened the door, I actually said to him, "Yes, we have a serious problem." And the next thing I know, I hit the fire alarms, and the next 7 hours just went in one big blur. We had the press outside, we had the TV cameras outside, we had about 30 appliances on site with about 60, 70 men fighting the fire. But the amazing thing was that once Gordon came in, and obviously he took control of the situation, as he always sort of does with his skill and knowledge, I was put onto the gate outside to tell the oncoming workers that unfortunately there'll be no work today because we had a massive fire. And obviously being quite a loyal team to the Hull of Heatrae, I can remember people actually crying. Some of the ladies were crying at the gate in the cars because they thought that was the end of Heatrae. But little did we know This was on the Friday. On the Monday, Heatrae was back in production, and that was a big team effort led by Gordon and his engineers and some of the senior managers, and that really had little impact at all on us supplying our customers.
They care about the job they do. They care about getting products out to the customer. They care about its success. They always have done. There's not many companies that have that, you know, that feeling of everyone throughout the chain. If there's something that needs to be done and done quickly, these guys have been absolutely amazing, and they're still coming in, still supporting the overtime, still coming in at weekends. They really do care about this business, and that has been the common theme, I think, throughout all of the years, is there is a deep care for what they do. And that's, I think it brushes off on everyone, because everyone feels exactly the same from top down to the very bottom.
Yeah, we had a union meet, and then we had this character, Ben Carsey, and we were waiting for the full-time officials, and Ben decided to grab the mic and done a rendition as Elvis as It's Now or Never, which we all found funny, but I don't know if the management did.
We've done Scaffold Pike twice in the rain. Also the Yorkshire Three Peaks. The first time out was Heatrae Sadia Mountaineers, and there was 16 of us, and some of us had never climbed a mountain before, and that was just a fantastic experience. And we were scrambling up over the boulder fields, and when we got to the top, it was so misty we couldn't even see our hands in front of our faces. We had plenty of laughs in the pub in the evening about it, and with our aching limbs, and yeah, that was a really good experience. That was a lot of camaraderie. Second time out on Scaffold, but one of the highlights of the trip had to be beforehand with Mark's story. So many of you will remember, will know. He took us over Hard Knot Pass in a minibus, and that's an experience to behold. And if you don't know what Hard Knot Pass is, if you Google it, you'll see it's one of the most dangerous roads in Britain. And yeah, that was the abiding memory from that one.
I think with the site closure in the last 2 years, I have nothing but admiration for the workforce here, because the professionalism that they're showing and the passion, training people up to do their job, is amazing for everyone who works here.
Yeah. I'm proud of them all, to be honest.
Absolutely. I think we've got a fantastic business, we've got a fantastic product, but most of all, we've got a fantastic team and a workforce that all are willing to work for each other, help each other out. It's amazing. It really is like a family affair, you know. Yes, you have fallouts from now and again, but nothing that stops the business from moving forward.
All families have their moments.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, they do.
I can remember, how about this? It's just come to me. They had a thermal cutout for it, and the part number was 95612 Remember that? That's what it was about.
You could remember the part number.
Yeah, and the thermostat for the water heaters, small water heaters, 95612 Yeah, I remember that. Isn't that funny how that things come back to you like that? Our favourite FB and the element for that was 95606 Always remember that.
So for the last 35 years, I've worked for Heatrae in the engineering department, and I've really enjoyed my time working for Heatrae. There's always been lots to do. It's been always interesting. It's been challenging. New product developments, acquisitions, investments, initiatives like Lean, factory layouts. We've relaid the factory umpteen times to make better use of space. it's always been interesting, never a dull moment, and a few quite exciting ones mixed in as well. Mark's already referred to the fire. That was a particular milestone in my career, one I wouldn't want to repeat. I've also been involved in the CSR team, which has been responsible for organising charitable events, Christmas parties, and that's really been good to meet and work people outside the normal job role, seeing people in a different light and working with people who you wouldn't maybe normally work very closely with. Very, very enjoyable, really, as part of a extracurricular activity. And I'm immensely proud of this business, as I know most of you are, and proud of the success that it's been. And I think the founders, Smith and Newhouse, would be very pleased if they could only see what became of their legacy. When they started the business, I very much doubt they thought it would go for 100 years. But 100 years is impossible to capture in 15 minutes. So I hope this has jogged a few memories. It's good to share memories. We've all got memories. Let's look forward to a time when we can get together once again and reminisce over a drink, as was the intention. We fully intended to have a party to celebrate 100 years. Unfortunately, COVID put pay to that. So hopefully this is a little gesture, just to remind people of some good memories over the years. So it's been a pleasure working with everyone. I'm privileged to have met and worked with so many of you, and I can only wish you all the best for the future. Thank you.